Good evening and welcome to our Golden Acre. My very first gift through YouTube. Winnie from, I'm going to say this wrong, so I apologize in advance. Emirala? I know this is backwards because I'm on selfie mode, but sent me this garden kit. I haven't opened it yet. I saw it. She showed me on YouTube or on Amazon. So no affiliate or anything, just a gift from a fan. But I will link where you can get this. So, pair of garden gloves and a little garden fork. This is definitely one of my favorite tools here, just a hand trowel. This one's nice. This will be nice just to have that nice point to plant with. Fork. Pretty cool weeding tool. I never ever had one that has this nice little bend in it. That will be interesting to use. I use these a lot. These will get lots and lots and lots of use. And then this, that's nice and sharp. I'm not 100%, this isn't a tool I've ever used before. I'll have to look up the appropriate way to use this, but this is nice and sharp. I'm assuming this is for weeding or edging or something like that. This little shovel is awesome for transplanting stuff. So our soil is really nice and loose. It's one of my goals this year to try to grow enough onions so that we don't have to purchase any. We use onions a lot in our cooking, so I started a ton from seed this year. So let's get a few more in the ground. I just have to plant. Isn't that magnolia tree absolutely beautiful? It's about at its peak. It's starting to go the other direction, so we have to pause and admire the beauty of a magnolia tree in bloom. As I mentioned, my goal this year, or soon in my gardening career, is to grow enough onions to make it a full year without having to purchase any. So I've got a couple of things going on here. I have onions mixed in with my brassicas. I have onions planted separately, but also with the quantity of onions I'm trying to plant and the space that I have, I realized I can't just plant them individually. So I've got a couple things going on here. Right here, I've got single rows, so they're spread about, I guess about 4 inches apart. Rows about, I would say 8, somewhere between 8 to 12 inches. I'm not always super precise. One of my, I don't know, strength and a weakness, I would say, because sometimes trying to be super precise gets us held up, so just getting the job done sometimes works better. And then here at this bed that I'm standing at now, this is where I kind of realized, like, I don't quite have enough space to be able to plant the quantity of onions that I want to plant. I had read one year about planting onions in groups of 3, so I have done that before, and that's what I have done here. So we've got like every one of these clumps of onions is 3 all the way down about to where that container is there. That's actually the container I was growing them in. My husband was picking on me that he's like, there's certainly exactly 3. Which, you know, most of them are 3, but if they were a little smaller, chances are there might have been 4. So again,
you discussing that new math again?
Precision is not necessarily my thing, which is ironic that I am a math teacher, but the joke is my husband is Mr. Precision. If we ever want something done with very straight lines, or we want something cut up where all the pieces are exactly the same size, that is his job, not mine. Okay. So what we're doing right now, I've got my last bin of onions that I have started that I'm getting in the ground. So I'm going to do a combination of things here. I'm going to do some single rows where I'm planting them by themselves. I am planting these tighter together than I did over there. So the rows are only going to be about 4 or 5 inches apart. Again, I'm not a super precise person. Also, I don't know, we try different things in different places and see what the results is. So in the bed that I'm working in right now, I'm going to do some singles. I'm going to do some groups of 3. You'll see in this bed, I've got last year's pepper stalks in. I like to leave the roots in the soil to hold the soil together, to break down, to add more organic material. And these stalks are like super, super thick, super strong. So I'm just going to leave them. They can break down. They're leaving more organic material in the soil, holding the soil in place. All of those things, they're fine. I know the garden doesn't look absolutely perfect, but perfect is not really something that I seek to attain, and it's not something you can. Perfection's not a possibility. So let's get some more onions in the ground here. Right. One of the challenges trying to do YouTube and gardening is trying to have 2 hands to plant while trying to arrange the camera. Also, at points in the evening when the sun is setting, it's beginning to set, it is extremely harsh. It makes it really hard to even see the screen. So, sometimes I just stop trying to position the camera and I just put stuff on the ground. So, some of this was recorded, some of it wasn't. So I'm planting, I've switched to planting individually because I've got enough space here at the end of this bed to fit the rest of the onions that I have left in the space. So I started at the beginning of the bed doing single rows, and then I switched to doing like 3 in a clump, and so like a dozen per row. And now I've switched back to doing singles because I believe the rest will fit. Say, loving my new, I don't know if this is just called a, I'd prefer you not, honey. Loving this. I don't know actually what the name of this is, but this little narrow shovel is fantastic. The last onion for this bed. That's about 100 more onions. So I think we are up to probably about 320, somewhere between 320 and 350. I haven't kept a real good track. So hopefully getting closer to that goal of having, of growing all the onions that we can use in a full year. I want to show you something else. Yeah. So, dirty hands, happy heart, time to go in, eat some dinner, do some evening chores inside the house. I hope you're having a great night wherever you are.